Good morning, guys. Well, good afternoon, actually, because it's 12 o'clock. Well, we don't have a video planned for this week, not a how do we or anything, and nothing too adventurous, but I figured we could go on a little adventure at home. There is a particular cookie that I am very fond of, and it only comes around in the winter season, usually around Christmas time. And it is called Pfeffernusse. And the difference between Pfeffernusse and gingerbread, I think, is pretty slight. It is a soft cookie. And I really want to try to make some. I've never made any before. And it looks interesting. We're going to see how it comes out, although it says it takes 3 hours to make. So that's going to take up most of our day. I'm sorry about the really bright window in the background. But given that we don't have any plans, and I would just clean all day, and you can probably hear that I have some laundry going in the background, you'll have to excuse that. Why not make some cookies? At least we'll have something to show for it at the end of the day, hopefully. And it's just me today, so this is a solo vlog for now, until Jeremy gets home from work. I'm currently off of work because it is Easter Monday, and we take that day off. So let's get cooking. Alright, first things first, here's what I have printed out. There are a lot of different recipes for Pfeffernusse, and it was hard to make a decision on which ones to do, so I have the tried and true Martha Stewart right here. There's quite a lot of ingredients to Pfeffernusse, but that's mostly spices because it is a spice cookie. But it doesn't look too hard. This one is just a put in an electric mixer and beat together like a normal cookie. This guy over here, though, as you can see from all recipes, it has some really good reviews, and that's always a plus. But this one you actually put in a pot on the stove to bring everything together, and then you would beat everything together to make the dough. So that's a little different. I'm not sure which one I want to use. I've never made them before, so it's going to be an adventure. I think I might try this one because it has molasses and honey in it, and that sounds particularly tasty. Oh, I don't know. What do you guys think? We may even just do a kind of a mix of the two, because I have some spices that aren't necessarily in here. However, after doing a little bit of research, it seems that Pfeffernusse cookies, which are Dutch, maybe even a little bit German, they're all over that area. They have a spice mix that you can buy, and it's a word that I can't pronounce, but we can't get it here in the United States, so I had to buy all the individual spices, and I'm going to blend some of them together that I don't already have in a powdered form. And we're going to go with that, although there were a couple that I could not find readily available around me, and I didn't want to order a huge bag off Amazon to have it come here a few days from now. So we're going to go with what I've got. It should be close enough. The one off the top of the head that I could not find was mace. I think it'll be fine without it. It's such a small amount that it shouldn't make a drastic difference. Ooh, look right there. Look at all of our pass holder magnets. That was a little much. All right. Let's get started. I'll show you guys the steps as I do them. Alright guys, now it's time to talk about spices. The spices we are going to be using today are cardamom, cinnamon, ground ginger, white pepper, some liquid star anise extract, allspice, cloves, and some nutmeg. Here is our spice lineup. Obviously the whole spices are going to have to be ground. This would be the cardamom. Not sure how that's going to grind. We're going to give it a shot. And there we go, the lovely ladies of Pfeffernusse. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is prep the spices. So I'm going to use cardamom first. It calls for 1.5 teaspoons. So I'm just going to eyeball this, and I'm going to throw it in my little magic bullet grinder right there, and we're going to see how this does, as I have never tried to grind these before. And they do seem kind of fibrous, because I use them in rice sometimes. Okay, let's see what this gives us. Looks pretty good to me. They are kind of fibrous. Maybe we can strain that. Can you see that? Can you see all that extra in there? I don't think that's ever going to grind up. So I'm going to see if I can't strain this and get more of a powder, a clean powder to put in my cookies. I'm going to put the cardamom through a sieve, and this is everything that was left over. That looks like the outside of the cardamom did not grind up, but I do have a nice powder there, and I think it's plenty. So let's measure that out. You guys probably don't want to watch this. I mean, it's probably kind of boring. 1/2. Here is one, and here is the other half. I'm going to prepare the rest of the spices in the same way, and we'll cut back to me putting it all together in a bowl. Okay, here we have the cloves and a little bit of allspice. So I mixed a little allspice in with the cloves because one recipe calls for it, one recipe does not. I don't figure it would hurt to just mix it with the cloves. Next, nutmeg. Nutmeg smells like Christmas. Oh yeah, I've got a teaspoon. Oh, it smells so good. Just for your reference, I'm actually using a 1/2 teaspoon here. That's why I'm putting in 2. We get 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. This is delicious cinnamon. 1 teaspoon of pepper. So I'm going to go half white and half black pepper. I'm gonna go 1 teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon of white pepper. And then here, my trusty Mickey grinder. Yep, that's about right. This pepper is quite hot. I want to be careful not to overdo that. Now the only thing left is the liquid star anise extract. Anise, I don't know, take your pick. And that's gonna have to go in with the other wet ingredients, because if I put it in here, it's going to clump up. Okay, welcome to my stove. I have a saucepan. First thing that goes into the saucepan would be 1/2 cup of molasses. Next up, I'm going to add 1/4 cup of butter. Here is our 1/4 cup of vegetable shortening. I used vegetable. I'm sure in the old country it is probably lard. And now next is going to be 1/4 cup of wildflower honey. Here we go, our 1/4 cup of honey. It does not call for a particular type of honey, but I am very much not a fan of clover honey. Now, we just have to let that all melt together and get creamy. And I think we're done. Now we take this off the heat and let it cool to room temperature. Okay, so while that cools, we're going to put together the dry ingredients, and we'll start with the flour. 4 cups of all-purpose. 1, number 2, 3. Do you do 3? Or do you do 3? 3 or 3? And 4, and we're done. So next will be 3/4 of white sugar. There's 1, 2, 3. 1/2 cup of brown sugar coming up. This is 1/4 of a cup, so we're going to do 2 of these. Listen, I know that I should have tiny glass bowls full of everything, but I don't want to do that many dishes. I also don't want to wash 2 of these when I can just use the 4th cup to make 1/2 cup. Next is 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to be eyeballing it. Living on the edge. I think that's about perfect. And now a little bit of baking soda. Here's my 1/2 teaspoon. Our lovely spices go in next. You need to obey. Alright, now we need to set this aside. It's not terribly hot, but I would not call it room temperature. Listen guys, I'm failing on the patience aspect of this. So I'm going to temper my eggs in so I don't have to let this sit anymore. That's better. Alright, if you let this come up to room temperature beforehand, you don't have to do this part. I'm just being quite lazy. Just check. Make sure that you don't have any scrambled eggs in there. You'd most likely smell it if you did. I think we are out of the scramble zone. How way to the scramble. This is not it though. This is not that highway. This is how you do it without getting on that highway. This is the lovely scenic route. Now I feel like to this we should probably add our anise extract. That looks good. I think it's time to move on to putting in the flour. We got to get our muscles ready because this into that is going to be a gigantic pain. But it'll be good. It'll be good. If everything turns out, it'll be worth it. All right, guys. Now this goes into here and we stir it all together. Okay. I need someone to invent a stirring fork for things like this. Because when I make brownies, I also won't use a regular mixer. Alright you guys, this is what the batter looks like after it's stirred. As you can see, it is incredible. But that's, I think, normal because you have to shape this into little balls. And, yeah, so it smells wonderful. But now it has to go in the refrigerator and sit for 2 hours. So I'll see you guys with just, you know, around the house stuff. Computer. Set a 2-hour timer.
2 hours, starting now.
Thanks. Now to do some dishes. Alright you guys, it is a day off, so I mean I do have to take a break. Have a little popcorn. A little puppy snuggle. And a Norman. And watch a little Star Trek. Now, I've seen all of these, but I've never watched them in order, so I'm working on that now. Just one episode, and then we'll get back to the cookies. So we have about 20 minutes left on our Pfeffernusse timer, and I figured that maybe these puppies might want to go outside. Especially since this fluffy one hasn't been off the couch pretty much the entire day. What do you say, Lou? Lou, do you wanna go outside and potty? Do you wanna go outside? Oh, and instant anger. Norman, is Lou fussing at you? Do you want to go out, Norman? You want to go outside? Lou, quit. Stop being so angry. Hey, sleepy boy. Don't be so angry, okay? Be nice to your brother. Let's go potty. Let's go potty. Let's go potty. We're so mad. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it is an absolutely beautiful day. Oh, the barking begins. I really probably should have picked something to do today that was more outdoor oriented, like throw some more X's or something. Look how pretty, and it's like 67 degrees. It's perfect. Oh, I wish we had time to eat dinner outside today. This is the kind of day you want to do it on. Lou, what are you doing? Hey, Lou, don't you roll in that. Don't you do it. Lou. Hey, Lou. Lou, don't, you're getting all tangled. Lou, don't you roll in it. Oh, no. Oh, don't you dare. Lou, whatever it is, I'm sure it stinks. Quit it. Come on, let's go potty. And this is how Norman greets the neighbor dog. It's always good. Gosh, there's just so much sass. So much. So that was a good trip outside. Although I am 90% sure that I now have a spider on me somewhere. There was one hanging in front of me when I came in the door, and instead of moving out of the way, I tried to grab it, and I don't know where it went. It's probably on me somewhere. And that is unnerving. Today has been canceled. Computer, stop my timer. All right, it is time to put together the Pfeffernusse, and by put together, I mean shape and bake. So I have 3 pans lined with parchment paper. I don't know how many I'll need, and What do we need here? 325. So these cook pretty low. We need to go all the way back down to 325. All right, let's get shaping and baking. Okay, so that took forever. That made a lot of cookies, and I made them bigger than you were supposed to. So can you imagine how long I would have been rolling cookies? You definitely need some kind of shaper, but this dough is way too thick for, oh sorry, I don't know what I did with them. But these guys, you see how it turned out like that? I've got to fix that. You can fix it, it's not a big deal, but obviously the dough was too thick to use that. And so here's how they turned out. They look lovely. I haven't tasted them yet because I am actually going to make a glaze for these, because typically the Pfeffernusse I've had has a glaze on it. This recipe calls for powdered sugar. The Martha Stewart recipe calls for a glaze. So I'm going to make a very simple glaze to dip these guys in. But first we gotta wait for the rest of them to cook. Okay, so that second batch is in here. I know they are too close together and they are going to touch when they're done cooking, but that's okay. You see how these are all nice and domed up like that? That is how I'm used to Pfeffernusse looking. But I don't want to touch them, I don't want to make them fall. But the other batch turned out more like a regular gingerbread. See how they flattened out? They're not quite so domed. Either way, I think they're gonna be delicious, but that's all right. First time making them, you know, between recipes. I don't think it was the spices that I changed that made the difference. It could have a little bit to do with the butter, but butter tastes better than margarine, so I don't regret that at all. Yeah, we're gonna ice these anyway and eat them and enjoy them. And they'll be even better tomorrow because all those spices will have time to sink in. But hopefully I can get this done before Jeremy gets off work so that I can make some dinner. Alright guys, sorry for the mess, but here's the glaze. It is just powdered sugar and a little bit of milk, and I'm pouring it on top. I'm in a little bit of a rush, so it's really messy, but it'll do just fine. Pfeffernusse is done. It made so many. I have some without the icing, and I cooked those a little shy. I wanted to see what would happen if I took them out while they were still domed. But what happens is they're too soft. But they're not done. They're just very soft. And I'll eat them that way, but I don't think that they will store that way very well. So anyway, I have 4 pans of Pfeffernusse. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And I'm going to start cooking dinner. And hopefully Jeremy will be home soon and he can join us for the rest of our vlog today. Oh, by the way, I tried the cookies. They're very good. They are way spicier. Like spicy not in a hot way, but spicy in a gingerbread way. That kind of spice. Way spicier than the kind that you buy in a store. I'm still probably going to buy them in a store because I started cooking these at, what was it, 12:30, and it is now 4:25. I think I'd rather pay $3 for them than spend an entire day making them. But you know, I gave it a try and they're good. They turned out fine. They're just a little labor intensive. But I suppose if you made the dough and froze it and then just baked them here and there as you needed them, especially during Christmas, it might not be as bad because you wouldn't be doing it all in one day like I did. Come on in. Hey, who's home? Who's home?
Oh no one. It's me.
It's your daddy.
Hello.
Hey babe.
Hey baby doll.
We getting ready to have some dinner?
I'm very excited.
What are we having?
We are having a spaghetti
Yeah?
with a banana.
Yeah.
Huh? You see how Italian I am?
So Italian.
Thank you.
You sounded like you were from the very heart of Italy.
Italy. I sound like I should be on a cooking show, right?
Yeah. So we have some homemade meat sauce. and some spaghetti.
Some homemade noodles.
Yeah. Oh no, not homemade noodles. I
made them at home.
Oh well, yeah, true.
Boiled them.
But I'm kind of done with the whole cooking thing today. So you have to try a cookie for the people.
Which one?
It doesn't matter. They're all the same.
I'm gonna go right in the middle.
Okay.
Oh, that one.
Now they're spice cookies. They're quite spicy. They should taste like Christmas.
How do you say it?
Pfeffernusse.
The Pfeffernusse?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, those are delicious.
Yeah?
I'm throwing away all my manners. Oh my God.
Do they taste like Christmas in a cookie? Oh, toast is done.
Toast.
So, now that Jeremy's home and approves of the cookies, we're going to go have some dinner, and then we're going to League. So, it's, Axe League. I don't know if we've told you guys we joined the League. Yeah. So, we've got to do that tonight. And we'll talk to you guys in a few minutes.
Cookie.
We are on our way to Axe League now.
On our way.
Yep. We are going to the Loso location.
Loso
location of Axe Club of America. So I think this is our third week of leagues. We actually joined a little late, so we're catching up. I'm throwing 5 games tonight. Jeremy's throwing 6, and we only have 2 more weeks, I think, before the end of this season. Yeah, so we'll have a lot more games, I'm sure, in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, we're on our way. We'll be there in a little while, and we might see you guys there.
Maybe.
We might not.
If you're cool. Like the first 2. Hi there.
Doing?
Watching her draw. I don't know, try them out. We're seeing if my glasses can help her.
Oh no.
No? No? See, you assume I'm blind. Oh, that one.
My thing is that I have Netflix.
Hey, you guys know this guy? What's up, Splitter?
How much is another day in paradise?
Hey guys. Oh,
Get that off of me!
we're back home. Yay.
From the throwing of the axes.
I'm throwing axes. It was fun.
Sarah did really, really good. We competed against each other and she totally beat me.
Yeah, we went to Big Axe. So
we went to Big Axe.
Yeah, and I'm really surprised.
You did really, really good.
You're great at Big Axe.
Oh,
though.
you're great. Obviously, you're better than me.
No, that is not true. In the
You
slightest.
totally won.
Yeah, well, any other day you would have just murdered it
Those
with
days
Big
don't
Axe.
matter.
Yeah.
Those days do not matter. A win's a win, babe. Be proud of yourself.
Well, this ends it for the vlog day today. You guys are probably sick of seeing me by now.
I'm sorry. I wasn't there for lots of it.
Yeah, but somebody's got to work,
Yeah, well.
and it ain't me.
Well, you had the day off.
We will get something in the works for next week, hopefully. It's just hard to find time when we're both free to go do stuff. But
we're
we're
not
working
giving up.
on it. No,
We're not giving up.
we're working on it. We're going to try to get something worked out this week so that we can do it next week.
That's right. Lulu's
Right.
going to help.
Yay, Lulu! Are you going to help? Woo! Lulu, tell them. Tell them.
Say, hey guys, make sure you like and subscribe and all that jazz.
And ring that bell.
That's right. And
Remember, you can do all things. guys.
Bye, everybody.